Very appropriate.
Ray will tell you where it came from. This is a very highly anticipated meeting, I'll tell you.
No, you go down back to the garage.
So we welcome everybody. Very glad to see everybody. And this was hatched last July when we were planning our program, and I called our wonderful historian and said, we'd like to have a program on country schools. Well, I don't have one, but I'll work one up. So I'm sure it took him several weeks to do that because he said there are many, many pictures that he had to draw from. And he says he will welcome questions as we go along if you wish. And I'm going to ask you to please stand and state your question and tell Ray your name in case he doesn't know you personally. And then we'll keep moving it on. And don't leave afterwards. We have enough food for 2 or 3 meetings, I think. Thank you to the 3 who brought the food. And we had a wonderful program last year with Ray, and I know this one's going to be equal. Thank you, Ray.
No pressure though, huh? No pressure though, right?
No pressure.
No, thank you. Welcome, everybody. First thing I'd like to do is point out, if you haven't been here before, I wanted to point out that we have pictures of almost every justice of the peace that's resided here from the early 1800s on. If we couldn't find pictures, we've at least got them all listed in the center by name, but in the year that they served. So, just a little point of interest. So, we're here to talk about the schoolhouses in the town of Canandaigua, and one thing I'd like to say, 2 things I'd like to say. Number one, this is a work in progress, as Donna adhered to. It's taken quite a while to put this together, and it's incomplete. It's a work in progress, and kind of last minute, we kind of decided that maybe we would also add the city. So it says town of Canandaigua, but at the end, if we have time, if your butts aren't completely sore, and you want to sit for a little while longer, I've got about 20 slides at the end of City of Canandaigua. So we'll go probably take it by, but however it goes. Okay, so the first one is District 3, and we got a picture, a nice painting of it. Who brought it in? No, Donna brought it in, right? Yeah. And it's pretty accurate. And I'm going to have problems with this because sometimes I get too close to it and I advance the picture without meaning to. And sometimes I have to pound on it to. There, okay, and there's a picture of it pretty much as it is there. It's on Hickox Road in the town. The owners now are Andrew and Mary Cloninger. As far as can you see? Okay. Well, we're being videoed too, I should tell you that. And I've got to stay at least so that the video can see me. We're going to try to, this is new, we're going to try to videotape some of my presentations and link it to the website. So they'll be available on the web. Maybe it would be better, if you don't mind, could you move where you can see better? And I can stay.
Oh. Oh, I can see. Janet, come over here because you can hear better here.
Oh, I don't want to displace you. No, you can't see.
I can hear.
Thank you.
Oh, see, I did it. The previous slide was a more recent picture of it. And you're going to see that I have a lot of pictures of classes, and to the extent that I have, I've got a listing of all the classmates that were in there too, but I'm not gonna read them all. What?
I just was thinking when I saw your first picture that maybe we could ask if anybody in here went to that particular school as you go along. You know, or show a hand.
Okay.
Did anybody here go to that school when you were little?
Number 3?
You know, raise your hand if you did.
Okay. I put up these.
down. Mary wants her on your right, it says Arthur, and then go over.
Okay.
You know,
Oh, very pretty.
Yes.
She's not here today,
No,
right?
she,
Okay.
I wanted to bring her, but she,
I think I have it.
and Big Dave,
Dad?
Big Dave was, Big one's sister, in school.
there we go again.
Yeah, there we go again. Let me, he escaped. Oh, I gotta do this. I'm sorry.
You'll be in the next room before you know it.
There's the one that,
There's that same picture.
yeah, there's that same picture. There's 1910. And here is the more recent picture of the, after the garage was put on. Okay? So I do have. Where'd it go? All right.
That's what it looks like we went for a meeting.
So I do have Mary's picture. Okay, so why don't you hold on. Getting kind of a shaky start here. Okay, this was 1910. 1914, did you see it quickly? Let me try some. I'm supposed to be able to do it with this.
Can one of us sit there and
How about that? Okay, this is 1914. Okay, and then we get to, I threw this in because this I wrote up in one of my books. Helen Pierce Gerlach wrote this with her sister Christine. And it's just a little blip on the winter of 44, 45. I don't remember how it got so bad. If it was a whopper of a blizzard that roared through, or if it was a series of storms that just kept piling up. I do remember walking on top of the snowbanks to get to school. I don't know the mileage, but we walked from where we lived on Bliss Road to the corner of Hickox and Bristol Roads, where the schoolhouse, District 3, was. Probably 1 to 1.5 miles. Some kids walked much further than that. And this is a picture of what it was like back in those days. Okay. Now see, there's a lot of, I don't have pictures of. So I just had to go with what I had. And if you've got some you can add, what I would like to do is if you've got pictures that you would like to send me or bring in, and I can scan them so that I can keep collecting more and more pictures of all the schools, I would appreciate it. This is number 4. And this is on Route 21 in Academy, really, just about across from Brand's store. Everybody know where that is? No? 21 south of Cheshire, south of where Westlake Road comes out onto 21, and it sits up on the bank. Picture is this was taken in 1967. Picture of what used to be says District 4. Well, it does say it, number 4. And I have to credit Jake Ruppert, who's passed away, but he was a good friend of mine. We worked together on barns and we worked together on schools, and he put together most of this. And I've added a lot of pictures to it and gone on since he's passed, but he sent me some notes. Johnny Bram went to kindergarten at the Academy School in about 1947. The next year his father would take him the upper driveway to meet the Naples school bus. The Bram's house was the last house in the district. The Academy School was closed in 1949, and the rest of the students went to Naples. They changed the lines of where that stopped and started the school district. So, and I knew there was a question about Sally isn't here either. Sally Bounds, Sally, no, because she went to this school too. This is what it looked like in, it doesn't have a date. 2004. Sarah Randall Roy Bounds attended the Route 21 school. In later years, she was the town clerk for the town of Canandaigua. And this is in 2004. This is the back of it. And then you're going to see what it looks like today. They've done a nice job of restoring it. And the owners are Chris and Kelly Rickenbach. As of 2014, I think they still own it. And this is Miss Judavine. She was a teacher about 1910 at number 4 school. I never had teachers that looked like that. Pretty lady. And then she put a souvenir together for each of the kids with a picture so they remember who she was. 1910, not for school, but for life we learn. And here she is with the class in 1910. And this is the list of the classmates. This was Marie Cornish, was teacher in 1915 on the far left. And Henry Miller, from Miller's the music store, was a teacher there at one time. 1930. Esther Randall was a teacher in 1938. At one time, the newspaper used to put a lot of these articles in. And I do have a collection of them, but not nearly enough. This was 1947, Clara Koff, who also taught earlier at the Cheshire Union School. And this is, let's see, Barb Miller is here. Whoops. Barbara Bird. It was in there. And Sally Randall was in there too. She was the taller girl next to Barb Bird. Okay. Now there's a second one, building. I tried to group them together geographically if I could, but the second school in Academy is over on Seneca Point Road. And this is the Narracong house now, has been for quite a few years. This was taken in '67. And here's what it looks like in 2004. First school was built of pine logs and used for religious services too. A church was built in 1832. Fire destroyed the original log schoolhouse. A second and home of Raymond Narracong was built immediately. No date was given for the fire, I guess, possibly circa 1882. here's a picture of, this is the school, and this was the church. It was just down the road. Architecturally, they're almost identical. I don't have a year for that, but early 1880s.
Where did the name Academy come from?
Excuse me?
The name Academy,
Where did it come from?
yes.
Ah, glad you asked. When Oliver Phelps and Nathaniel Gorham bought the whole Phelps and Gorham purchase, and the south half of it was called District 10. The north half was District 9. No, vice versa. District 9 was the south half, District 10 was the north half. It wasn't long before Oliver Phelps was concerned about not having any religion, because a lot of settlers were coming in, but no religion and no schools. So what he did, well, he brought Zadok Hun in from Yale. He was a congregational minister, and he started a bunch of congregational churches, including the Congregational Church in Canandaigua. But he started 9 of them around the area. And then for school, what they did was they set aside 3,000 acres, starting from the south end of the town of Canandaigua, east and west from the lake to the Bristol town line, and then as far north to take in 3,000 acres. And they called that Academy, and that was reserved for any sale of the land. The money came in and went directly to financing the school, hence the name Academy.
Huh.
Okay, so that's how Academy got its name. This is just a little blip about some of the, I found in one of the, April 1887, Miss Clara Standish closed a term of 20 weeks school on the Lake Shore District, number 1, South Bristol. And I'm not sure that's the right one for this one. It was as far south as I can find without going into South Bristol. And it lists a bunch of names of students who would have been, because Miss Standish was teaching at Academy. I'm still not quite sure about the right school. There was a school into South Bristol that was, if you start up Hicks Road, there was a school up on the side of the hill there at one time, but so I might be mistaken on that. But anyhow, I keep looking for all those kinds of things. Now this is an interesting one. This is Cheshire, number 5, and this is where the school started on Bunnell Road. An 1874 atlas shows the school located at 5610 Bunnell Road. 1904 atlas shows a private residence at that location, and I think that's where Hank Ellis lived. Ginny, do you know? Do you remember? Okay. But this was the first Cheshire school, number 5. The second one was on Keister Avenue, and I'm sorry, this is the only picture I can find of it. It was, it got in pretty rough shape. I do have a picture of the inside that I didn't bring with me. Sometime after 1874, the old Cheshire School had been replaced by a 2-story wooden structure on Keister Avenue in the hamlet, just east of New York State Route 21. Right here is where M&D's Igloos was. It's A's or something like that, no?
Oh, yeah.
Okay? And the firehouse was on this side of the road, and it's owned by people who own A's now. And that building was there, and the fire department burned it down because it was unsafe. Okay? And this is 1915 in the front yard of that school, Keister Avenue. The teacher was Lois Rozier. She married Will Dershel. What's it? I got that spelled wrong. Is it D-R-U? Drushel, right? D-R-U is supposed to be, right? Yeah, okay, so that's, I gotta change that. And a list of the students that were there. And this is an interesting picture because this was just at the time when they were building the new Cheshire Union. She was only at this school for a short time because you'll see that when I get into this, maybe it's the next picture. Okay, This is Cheshire Union, this dotted line around here, okay? And they brought in 4 schools. Number 6, which was up on Goodale Road. Number 8, which is over on Middle Cheshire Road. Number 18, which was on Knott Road. And number 5, which was that, at that time, was that Keister Avenue, okay? They combined those, and what was nice about doing that was they were each district schools and they had 4 teachers. So those 4 teachers became the teachers for the school at the Cheshire Union. Those school teachers were District 5 was Florence Standish, teacher. District 6 was Louise Rozier. So you see she was initially up on Goodale Road. District 8 was Anna Boland on Middle Cheshire Road, and Irma Woods was District 18 up on Knott Road. The years that these 4 schools were built is not exactly known, the earlier schools, but as early as 1812, the state of New York had mandated public education to at least grade 6. Thus, it's assumed that these old schoolhouses were built between 1812 and the Civil War. That's the only way I can get a date to them. Those previously mentioned district schoolhouses united to become the Cheshire Union with the construction of a modern advanced school at the intersection of Canandaigua Naples Road and the Woolhouse Road.
Yeah, it's the company store.
Country store.
Company store, yeah.
This is wrong, because it was built in 1915. But this is still there, yeah, the company store is all upstairs there. There's a picture of it from the Cheshire Union, town of Canandaigua, Union School, now the company store. Side view. And there were 4, everybody's been there.
I've been there. I went to school there.
You went to school there, okay. Well, there were 4 school rooms upstairs.
Yep.
And each one of those teachers got one of those rooms.
2 classes, 2 grades to a room.
2 grades to a room?
Yep.
That would be 8.
1 teacher.
Yep. Yep. So 4 teachers to the upstairs. Yep.
And we even had music when I went there.
This was Simon Wheeler's school bus. They served Cheshire, and this is the story about this was Don Outhouse was one that told me about it, and Bertie Weifels was another one. And they told me that the kids used to go to the back of the bus,
I was thinking.
so the rear end of the bus would go down. They got a lot of laughs over that. Probably some red fannies too. And this was Floyd Mallory's 1937 Ford school bus, and that was sold when they closed the school. It was still in use. 1940 something, 54 I think it was. 54 when they closed the school.
I went there until 7th grade and graduated in 59.
59?
Yeah. So
Okay.
it closed before that.
It's been a,
No, it closed after I graduated, I think. Oh, yeah.
I think it was
The
54,
school
55.
closed, but they kept something there.
Well, it was empty for a number of years,
Yeah,
not knowing what they were going to do with it. Poor John and Barbara Rose finally bought it.
yeah.
And these were the teachers in 1927. Lila Kinnear, L. Van Auken, Gertrude Douglas, and Claire Koff. And I had Claire Koff was the one that was in that picture of Academy. She was later on in the 1940s.
They don't look very happy.
I don't think they were.
Smile, then pictures.
And they've got a series of classes shown here.
I know. Oh my God.
This is gonna take a while. It's fine, I like the discussion. If there's a specific, I think they've got all the names, so. Harold L. House is there. Anna Elliott was a relative of mine. Anna Elliott. Francis Davis was a brother to Ginny. Ginny Davis, Ginny Walker, Ginny Walker's brother. Yep. They were, both of them were there. And this is spelled wrong. Should be Lyle Davis and Francis Davis. These two, I think, were her brothers. Anybody there we know?
Yeah. Alice Cool.
What are you laughing about?
Alice
Alice Coon, Alice Carlisle, Alice Coon, Andy Coon's mother. Helen Davis was a sister of Ginny. Helen Davis, was she a sister of Ginny? No, okay. Harold Rogers. Okay. This is the first band organized 1936. No names. Floyd Barnes, yep. Bob Mallory. Virginia Davis, there's Ginny, right there. Doris Barnes was, yes, Tommy Dixon's wife, yeah. Mary Bancroft.
So Ginny Davis.
Oh, I know somebody there.
Oh, yeah.
Jimmy Barnum? I don't know. Okay, this is I put this in because I don't know who the kids are, but it's shows you what all four of the rooms look like. Were you in that room?
I'm not, it looks like some of the kids on the room, but I don't see myself.
I do have the name someplace. Not here. 8th grade graduates. I didn't put the teacher.
I got him for a teacher.
What was his name?
Mr. Don Jones.
Don Jones, yep.
Oh, I'm in that picture.
Are you?
Yeah, second row, second one in.
Second one in?
Yeah.
With a white sweater.
Yeah. That's me. So cute. I'm in that picture too.
Right next to the teacher?
Sitting next to the teacher. On this side. I'm in that.
This is the band in 1959.
I'm in that one too. Second one in.
Milt Bancroft.
Yeah. I'm in the top row there. Second one.
Bob
Bob Fern.
Furnham. Yep.
Bobby Furno?
Yep. I think Gene Johnston was in there someplace too.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you go back 2 pictures? Because I think that was the Westlake Road School, sorry. You know, next time you go through them, that was the Westlake Road bunch of kids. I was there. Not Cheshire.
While you're in there.
No.
Uh-huh, gotcha. She didn't.
No.
Oh, you know, you can't go back?
Yeah, no. I could try.
No, that's all right. The
No,
next time,
I'd like to clarify that because if I've got a mark wrong,
That's not 59. That's your graduate.
Why do you think it's?
That should be 54.
Wrong one.
Now, no,
54.
no.
That year is wrong on that one. That should be 54.
Well, that's in the book that was given to me by the CCAT, so it's their fault.
That's special. Which one?
No, that wasn't the picture.
It's sitting in the
Oh, the next one back.
What year were the schools
Right there.
centralized
Right
for
there.
the state? Was it
You would think.
That's not Westlake Road. No. What year, what,
Oh, I'm wondering when the school districts centralized and they no longer went.
about
Children-
19, we were just talking about that, 54, 55, 50, in the late 50s.
Oh, did it make a difference depending on what county you were in? Because where I was, it was before that.
56, they closed West, the first time, but they kept going, that
So it
stayed
must have
open
been
for a
a
while.
county ruling. not a
Partially,
state.
yes. Partially,
Because
yes.
I lived in Wyoming County and ours closed about 1950, 49 or 50. I would have thought it was the entire state.
I'm not sure. if
No,
it's Cheshire
no.
or not.
Because there was a door.
It sort of looks like Mrs. Andrew, but I'm not sure.
It's not Mrs.
Well,
Flood.
he'll get this Westlake Road.
Okay,
I might have been in the error, Ray.
It looked like your school last.
moving right along.
Little flashback.
That year's wrong.
That year's wrong?
Yeah. 1959 is not right.
What
I
is-
graduated from high school in 59. I'm in that picture. It's only about 5th or 6th grade, so it's got to be
Really?
53 or 54.
All right, I'll have to,
Well, the year,
That's not,
correct it in there, please. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong, I'm sure you're right.
I knew when I graduated from high school, it was
Right.
59.
Okay, Goodale Road, now I'm gonna talk about, just as quickly about the other three schools, the four of them all made up District 5. And there's no picture of it, but this was the end of Smith Road at, he called it the abandoned Dempsey Road out here, but this is Smith Road, and this is Goodale here. And this is Smith Road going up, around over to Ketchum Road.
Yeah.
And there was a schoolhouse down in here. And Louise Rozier was there in 1915. District 8, Middle Cheshire Road. Let's see how many of you recognize this. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I got another one to go to. Do you recognize this? Yeah, it looks like this now.
Mrs. Kennedy, she taught at Cheshire, so that is right.
18 is the one. Do you recognize
I
this?
know, but she, that was that picture. We're trying to say it was not Cheshire.
It's Phil Mumro's house, and this part right here was the schoolhouse. And he added all the rest of it on later on.
Yeah, I do, right in the time.
There you go. Number 9.
Okay, number 9. This was the first one. Gene, you don't remember that one, do you?
no, thank you, Ray.
Okay. I'm just checking, you know. That was first built in 1819, and this is another picture of it. Built in 1819, it was located on the lower level of the lot between the existing schoolhouse and the Westlake Road. So at the, when I get to the new school, here's a bunch of kids, and that's in that old school. They're outside that old school.
Yeah.
Jeanette Douglas, called Nettie by her friends. The Douglas family name is well known. English girl. This is Charles Booth. He was the one that was instrumental in getting the Westlake Road School built, the new one. This is the new school. Now, the old school sat right down in here. So they could build the new school while the old one was still going. And the building the new schoolhouse was a long and hard task, but what evolved was a schoolhouse that the New York State Commissioner of Education stated was the finest rural school in the state. Because it had a lot of, it had a library, and everybody had their own lockers. There were restrooms downstairs, inside restrooms. There were a lot of extras for it. I like this picture of it. It's a little bit different angle. This is the, it's got a fireplace in the, that's in the library. Library, cloakrooms, modern toilets, a fireplace, blackboards, and individual drinking cups. Okay. This is a class of 38. And anybody know Rosemarie Brown Pearsall? It's this girl right here. She was,
Jimmy does.
pardon?
He was in our class, high school.
Was she? I've interviewed her several times, and she was a part of the Westlake Legacy video that we put out because she spent, I think 8 grades in the school. This kid here, Larry Cross, he became the CEO of
Bill Cross, I know all of them.
Reader's Digest. Yep. And this kid here, Rosemarie told me he was a heller. They ended up sending him to a school, private school. So. I think this is Elsie. She's from Westlake Road.
Mason, Elsie Rogers.
Elsie Rogers.
Yep, Elsie Rogers. Yep. Bessie Spike was the last teacher to teach at District 9. She taught the children for 26 years, longer than any other teacher, 1941 to 1967. Question mark. Bessie was tremendously devoted to her teaching, which accounts for her great success. About 75% of her students went on to college. Oh, I know somebody there.
Well, there's my hand right up in
Hi,
the
Roy.
corner.
This was a Scammell
Oh,
kid, right?
That's Elton in the back row on the left, yeah.
Dick Scammell, right.
See him? Who is? Elton.
No, I'm not there. There's my brothers, 2 of them.
Elton,
That's my Elton, yeah.
there's Elton.
Yeah.
Shoemaker.
Gene, are you in it?
No.
You can see Roy and
I'm not.
Doug
See Roy in the center.
in the back.
Whoops.
Class of 6.
All right, this is another class, 64. Everybody mentioned, noticed or recognized some of those folks?
Yeah.
2006, we had a 100th reunion for that school. And Roy did a nice job of spearheading that. Okay, District 10. Little schoolhouse on Yerkes Road, corner of Yerkes and New Michigan Road. It's down the street from my house. That's what it looks like today.
It's cute.
District 11. See, I wish we had more information on these schools, but Gary Yerkes is the owner. Gary's dad told him that when they were going to build a school, usually they would choose a spot in the center of an area that would become the district. Two landowners would have set aside an area on the property to build the school. I don't know how accurate that was. That was from Jake. That's pretty much what it looks like today.
Yep.
And Preston Pierce's mother taught at this school for several years. Margaret.
Yeah.
See, this says number 1.
Yeah.
See, 1904 Atlas states it as 11, and the Ontario County Atlas states it as number 7. So, am I out of tape yet?
Not yet.
Okay. Number 12, Fisher Hill Road. Probably don't remember that there was a school up there. But it was right there. Don't remember that, huh? Okay. Property was most recently owned by Louis Lucero, and the original building is gone. I surmise, and this is Jake, that the original was located behind the house that Louis lived in, which was built later. And if you look at Jake's little drawing, this is the Bristol town line. This is Fisher Hill Road. And there was a driveway that went back in behind a house that he thinks Louis Lucero lived in, and he thinks that the schoolhouse was back in there. Charlie Garrett lived there. Number 13, 5 and 20 in Centerfield. Aha. We all know this one. Jim Bell's the owner. The Atlas in 1874 has it listed as District 2, and I think it is. He has 13 on it, but I don't think 13 is right. I'm pretty well convinced it was number 2. And there was confusion according to the maps on where it was. One map, 1859, had it located down on McCann Road. It might have been right at one time, but 1859, the Episcopal Church was here. 1874 showed, it's a 1904 shows the school next to where the Episcopal Church was, which is gone. And there's 2 or 3 tombstones out in back that most people can't find. Jim Bell can tell me where it is. They are, though. This is Harry Norton, who's the teacher.
There's Dad right there in the front, holding on to the dog.
Who?
Our dad.
Your dad? Where?
Yeah, with a little short pants. Yeah. Next one over.
With a dog, with a
Oh,
dog.
the dog.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Tell you stories about it. The name of the dog, I can't remember now.
Toto, right? Here's a list of all the teachers of record, which is something that is nice to have. I can't remember where that came up, but somebody sent me that. And from the Ontario County Journal 21st of February, there's a list of the performance of a lot of the kids in history and bookkeeping, geography, and there might be some names there that you recognize. George Appleton. So even though you're the Centerfield homemakers, I'll bet there aren't a lot of you that had anything to do with Centerfield School. Is that true?
Except for us.
Except for you. Well, your dad went there.
Yeah.
14, Paddleford Road. This is what it looked like at one time. There was some confusion about whether this was a 1-story or 2-story building. From this side, it looks like a 1-story building.
That's where they gave me down to the radio shop.
This picture looks like a two-story building. But it's the same building, it's just they've changed things a little bit. But that's gone, obviously. Whoops. Everybody know where it was?
Yeah.
Right where,
Yeah, where the Y is.
yeah, Paddleford Road went off that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoops. Oh, I did it again. That school is not there anyhow, so imagine it gone. This was the stone house that was district number 15. It's called the Schoolhouse, on Schoolhouse Road, off from Sand Hill.
I know where that is.
Do you? District number 15. Oops. This is getting sensitive. The Goff Road. There's another one that, a figment of your imagination. This, you go up Goff Road up to the dead end, and there is an abandoned telephone road, tower road that goes that way, and the building was apparently just to the right of that, district number 16. It was really, I think it was a joint with the town of Bristol. Okay. I've got some information that I'm not sure is correct, but Mr. Fred Pratt closed a very successful term of school in the Hannah District in the town of Hopewell. Satisfaction expressed by the parents of the pupils as to the progress made in their studies during the time of Mr. Pratt's tutorship is evidence conclusive of his merits as a teacher. And then it's got a list of some of the pupils and what their grades were. And that's this picture. And this is the picture that Donna, according to Billy, this particular schoolhouse was up the road from where the existing one is now, up the road, and where one of the roads from Chapel Street, or one of them, came through. It was down by a grove of trees. And I gotta believe he's right, because there's a couple of different pictures of it. There's another picture of it, same one. Billy states that the willow trees 1,000 feet north of the remaining school are located where this school is believed to have been. The mad boy looking in front is Bill's father. This guy. And the girl next to him looks very angelic. I think it's a girl. Same old brick school about 20 years later, and he's got some people located or identified, Frank Andrews. And this is where the school is now, or what was the school. And it's not too far up Andrews Road from 21. It's not a schoolhouse anymore, of course.
It's on the corner, yeah. That was District 1. Down on the corner.
And
That was down on the corner, that was District number 1.
that seems to be where the confusion is, whether that number was 1 or 17.
1.
Okay. Class of 1938 there.
That's all in my plan.
You know what? It says District 1.
See me?
District 1 right there.
Right down the corner.
Yes, I see you.
Where are you for the rest of us?
Top row, second one from the right.
Second from the right. Okay.
Big smile. Second one from the right. Oh, like today.
What'd she say?
Okay, we got that settled?
Do you know anyone else in the photo?
I know them all.
Oh.
Oh,
Then the second row, that left one is Wilfred Bricky, Alice Bricky, Bob Tears, Eddie Monks, Norma Tunison today.
Oh, really?
And I don't know, if, the next one is Smith. Then the front row on this end is Elaine Andrews, George Gould, Helen Gould, and the next one is a Gould. The next two are Brickies, Carmen Koash, and Roger, yeah.
Very
Good. I'm impressed. Good job.
Oh, look at that.
Did they get them all right?
Norma Koash,
19, Dual Road at Lucas Road.
it was district number 1.
1905, Daily Messenger, no school in Dual Road this coming year due to small number of students. And this is what happened to a lot of the small district schools. If they didn't have enough kids in the area to go to school there, they just close it for the whole year, or at least part of the year. That's what it looks like today, right up on the corner of Dual and Lucas. And that's the end of the town.